certain games do we go with the best matchup. Is Miles the best matchup for that center? Is Cody the best matchup? Is playing big? Is playing small? So will we rotate our lineup throughout the year on who's starting? Some guys could just earn spots. Before Jalen Clark got hurt, it was going to be hard to keep him off the floor, and I'm sure nobody's had him penciled in. But I promise you, before he went out, I was wondering how I was going to keep him off the floor. So, but the big answer to that is, how will we progress? Is it going to be best for us to rotate lineups based on matchups? And if we do that, then our guy, look, we're going to have a group of guys that accept that I can only start 5 guys, and we're going to try to that everybody's going to play. We're playing at a much faster pace, which was probably the thing I was most pleased about on Saturday. So, we definitely have decisions to make, not just about Thursday, just how we're going to proceed with that. Will we adjust game to game based on matchups? If we do adjust game to game, it would be based on matchups.
Coach, you obviously had a fantastic tournament run, but those that really paid attention to the season as a whole, knew you had some valleys as well as peaks. How do you get the guys to play closer to what they did in tournament time rather than, let's say, the 4 games before the tournament?
Yeah, that's where I would differ from you. But although I do know I'm in a results-oriented business, what I would tell you to do is go pull our stats from those 4 games that we lost, and we shot the ball just as well in those 4 games as the NCAA tournament. Our defense was better, and we were able to win close games. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, basketball, all the time, when quality teams play each other, the margin of victory is about a 5-6 point in big-time, high-major basketball, in big-time conferences. So we missed a few 1-and-1s. Does that mean we're playing bad? We missed 2 1-and-1s in the last 40 seconds against USC. Almost got a 5 count on an out-of-bounds play. We missed a layup on the break and a couple 1-on-1s against Oregon State. So if that goes the other way, so I don't evaluate how we're playing based on the result. Look, that's why I'm not a fan of the coach. Coach, you have to evaluate how you're playing based on the way you're playing, not the result. Because here's why. You can play well and lose. Or you can play poorly and win. And that happens. You can play poorly and win. And you must know that as a coach. So we had a quote-unquote practice Saturday. And although the score might have been theoretically in our favor, we don't evaluate that. We evaluate what we need to do to get better, regardless of result. And I think when you're playing and coaching at this level, peaks and valleys are for fans and media. Development and coaching are for teams and coaches. So, that's how I look at it. Here's how I look at our team last year. We went through unbelievable trauma all year, from COVID to Johnny hurt to start the season, as well as Jalen Hill, to losing a couple crazy games at the buzzer, losing our only senior, an NBA prospect in the middle of the season, and then losing a 6'10" valuable piece of our team without any notice on February 1st. Then Cody destroys his ankle and tries to play through it because he's just the ultimate warrior. That's how I look at our season. So regardless of what would have happened, we continue to try to get better. And that's what we're going to have to do this year. Look, guys, it's going to be a long year.
I was going to ask something similar. Obviously you had all that going on. Is it a lot more comfortable now going, from this off season into this season?
Well, we already lost Will McClendon, and I know, common on the outside, probably the common theory is how is he going to play much this year? He was going to play. Will McClendon's a really good player. He can shoot, he's smart, and he can defend. Those kind of guys play in basketball. You have those 3 attributes, you're going to play. So that didn't help. Definitely didn't help us in practice in the game. So now Mac is out. We'll wait and figure out how bad that is. And So we've already been dealing with it. So you just got to go back to my point. You got to go day to day. You got to go day to day. Experience tells me you got to be ready to adjust, and you got to go day to day. It's just a long year for everybody. All sporting seasons are that way. But the beauty of our sport, as we proved last year, you stay together and you just focus on getting better. That's all. And if you do that, you give yourself a chance. Because in our sport, all you got to do is get in a tournament. You get in, you got a chance to win it.
Coach, what are the challenges as far as this group, because the spotlight will be different this year than say what it was last year for these young athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the challenges as far as having them stay in the moment, stay in the mindset of the focusing on the goals of what you guys have set out for this team, maybe compared to last year where maybe people weren't looking at you guys, the spotlight wasn't on you guys, but now it is. Your ranking, what you've done, your time here.
Yeah, I would say the only challenge would be on the way I operate, because I challenge our guys that none of that stuff matters, with all due respect.
But they think about it.
Again, I train them not to. So the challenge will be on how good of a job have I done to train. How good is my training done? So I train them on Coach Wood: ignore criticism, deflect praise, focus on your job, because none of it matters. I train them, and every guy that's ever played for me will give you this answer. Okay. When we win, you'll love us. When you don't, you'll kill us. Yeah, and that's just the facts. So I try to train them on not to listen and not to read it, not to absorb it. But to your point, I'm well aware I'm dealing with young people, and I'm in the minority. But I try to train them too, because it's part of the way we do things. You control the controllables. You should never worry about what others think. You should worry about being a good person and doing your job. Outside of your family and friends, it shouldn't matter, because it's all false anyway. But that is the challenge. But that's the challenge every year, because whether your spotlight is now, it used to be where the spotlight's on your rank high. Now all you got to do is turn on your phone. High school teams got message boards. They're talking about it's craziness. It's just complete craziness. So to me, for them, that's not a new thing. That's where coaching has changed a lot. You got to deal with it. But I've always been that way. I just don't think that it should matter, because it has nothing to do with their goals as young student athletes, getting their degree, getting where they want to go, us accomplishing what we need to accomplish. If we stop working hard because Ben writes that we got a great team and we deserve to lose, nothing against Ben, but that's just a fact.
So to follow that up, and this is your third season, correct, in charge of these guys. Your preparation from your standpoint, from when you were here year one to what you're doing this year, is no different.
No different. And I got a really good memory, so I'm going to tease Mike. We lost a game my first year, and he was standing here and he asked me, are you just going to focus on the future for the rest of the season, because wherever we were at that point in the Pac-12 standings, and my head snapped. I said, we're going to try to get better today. We got beat. We lost the Pac-12 on a buzzer shot. So, no, it hasn't changed. So as much as I can come in and say, hey, we got to be patient. We got to rebuild. I'm way too competitive for all that. Way too competitive. So, but again, I try to teach these guys, because they're going to be on their own. We're still amateur coaches. These kids, they're just kids. So I'm a big believer in the synergy between life teaching and basketball teaching. So you never accept what somebody, you shouldn't even read what they say about you, and you never accept it. You can define success for yourself. So we'll try to carve our own way out. And what I teach them is we'll get what we deserve, whatever that is. And if you keep doing things the right way, I think we proved it last year, eventually, the worm does turn for you. I think that's really what happened. We got a lot of bad breaks late in the season. And it turned for us because we refused to give in. So I try to teach them that's how they got to be as men, as they get out of here and transition out of here. So it's just the way we operate.
I know you can't comment on recruits, but can you say how you feel about how your recruiting class is shaping up as a whole?
I think I can. I don't know.
I think we'll pass on any recruit.
Yeah, I think all I can do is confirm that we're recruiting certain people. Let's just let's just say, as in generalities, that recruiting and scheduling are equally important. You know, shaping a schedule that can help develop your team and get you eventually where you're trying to get to. We've worked hard at that, and we've worked just as hard at recruiting. I got a great coaching staff, and I fully expect that those guys, that I could lose all three of them soon because of their ability to X and O, their ability to recruit, and their experience. So I would give all of those guys all the credit.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Got it?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, man.